Hey, and welcome back to the Aeroview Lifestyle, the podcast where we explore what it means to live boldly, beautifully, and intentionally, especially when your heart lives in the skies. I'm Ariel, founder of Aeroview Design Co., where we design high-end aviation homes for pilots, executives, and families who want their homes to reflect who they are, not just what they own. We're in week 3 of our May series, The Power of Personalization. And today's episode is going to be packed with actionable inspiration. If you've ever thought, I want my home to reflect me, but I don't want it to be cluttered or cheesy, or how do I incorporate my passions without making it feel like a theme park? Or maybe even I have all of these travel memories in heirlooms, but I don't know how to make them feel polished and intentional. Then, friend, this episode is for you. So let's settle in and talk about exactly how to infuse your story and lifestyle into every room in your home with style, soul, and zero cliches. Let's start here. Your home should tell the truth about you. Not in a literal hang everything you've ever done on the wall kind of way, but in a layered, intentional way that feels like stepping into your essence. When I walk into a client's home, I should feel hints of where they've been, what they love, how they relax, what inspires them, and how they move through their day. Think of it like composing a visual memoir, not a scrapbook. We're curating meaning, not collecting stuff. Let's dive into the practical. I'm going to walk you through 5 categories that show up in almost every aviation lifestyle home I design, and how to personalize each one in a way that's subtle, elevated, and uniquely you. Number 1, lifestyle-based floor plans. One of the most powerful forms of personalization is how you move through your space. If you wake up early and need silence to write, let's design a tucked away morning nook. Maybe you fly several times a week. How can your laundry room, packing station, and mudroom support that? Maybe you entertain after returning from trips. Can your entry and your kitchen welcome guests without stress? For my aviation clients, we often create transition spaces between the hangar and home. Yes, like a decompression zone. We add walk-in closets or lockers specifically for flight gear, and we design a flight planning station with custom cabinetry, built-in charging ports, and storage for iPads, charts, and logbooks. These aren't gimmicks. They're lifestyle-based choices that make your life easier and more luxurious. Here is an actionable tip. Look at your current layout and ask, where do I feel friction in my day? And how could a space serve me better? Number 2, designing with travel in mind. Most of my clients have been everywhere. Europe, South America, Southeast Asia, you name it. And they always say the same thing. I don't want my house to look like an airport gift shop. Here's how we solve that. Select 1 to 2 places that changed you, not the ones you went to for work or Instagram. I mean the ones that moved you. Pull a palette, texture, or architectural detail from that place and integrate it into your design. Here's a couple examples. A client fell in love with some archways. We added custom arched plastered doorways and soft whitewashed walls. Another had an unforgettable sailing trip in New Zealand. We built a ceiling beam feature out of reclaimed boat wood. You don't need the Eiffel Tower on a pillow. You need a material, line, or scent that takes you there without shouting it. Here's an actionable tip. Think of a place that changed you. Then ask, what did it feel like to be there? And how can I replicate that sensation in a room? Number 3, aviation milestones with meaning. You're a pilot. You've logged thousands of hours. You've got logbooks, awards, headset shelves, and probably a propeller or two. So how do you design with that passion without overdoing it? Here are 3 approaches I use all the time. Curated aviation art. Abstract paintings inspired by flight paths. Line drawing maps of meaningful airports. Vintage flight diagrams printed on fine art paper. Sky chart constellations from your first solo. Reclaimed materials. Riveted aluminum accents. Reclaimed aircraft metal shelves. Old gauges built into a custom clock or bar front. Personalization through texture. Leathers that feel like your favorite seat. Floor tile with runway-inspired geometry. Lighting that mimics landing lights. Soft, subtle, architectural. Here's an actionable tip. Pick one aviation milestone that changed your life. Instead of displaying the object, ask, what about this memory can be translated into material, lighting, or layout? Number 4, collections and personal treasures. Books, maps, art, photos, trinkets, model planes, vintage scarves, journals, maybe even your grandfather's wings. Here's the key. Elevated curation over exhibition. Let's break it down. Group things with meaning, not just color. Use negative space. A crowded shelf dilutes meaning. Frame objects like art, glass shadow boxes, floating mounts, custom linen matting. One client of mine had a small leather-bound flight journal from the 1950s that belonged to her grandmother. We mounted it open, framed it in museum glass, and placed it in her reading nook. She touches it every morning. That's not decor, that's soul. Here's an actionable tip. Find 3 items you love but haven't displayed well. Ask, could this be reframed, relit, or recontextualized in a way that honors it better? Number 5, designing for ritual and rhythm. Your story isn't just your past, it's also how you live today. Do you light a candle every morning while journaling? Do you FaceTime your grandkids from the same kitchen stool every Friday? Do you review approach plates while sipping bourbon in the hangar at sunset? Design for those rhythms. A personalized home celebrates not just who you were, but who you are now. Build in a built-in tea or bourbon bar near your wind-down space, a sunrise view desk for your morning planning, a little sound system in your favorite quiet room so you can play the songs that bring you back to yourself. Here's an actionable tip. Ask, what's one small ritual that makes me feel like me? And how do I anchor it in my space? Let me tell you something I've learned from working with pilots and professionals at the highest levels. The more successful we become, the more we crave spaces that don't ask us to perform. You spend your day making decisions, showing up for people, solving problems, being on. Your home should just let you just be. And that means honoring the parts of you that don't always make it onto the business card. The collector, the dreamer, the traveler, the spouse, the child of someone who first taught you to fly, the version of you who still gets goosebumps at golden hour. Design is how we bring that self home. Let's do a quick reflection. If you're not driving, grab a journal or just close your eyes. Imagine your favorite room in your dream home. Not the most expensive, not the trendiest, the one that feels most you. Ask yourself, what colors are around you? What textures are underfoot or at your fingertips? What sound is playing? Or what silence do you feel? What object in the room tells your story without needing words? This is the room you start with. Let everything else be built from there. I want to leave you with this. The most beautiful homes I've ever seen aren't the most expensive. They're the ones that feel like the people who live there. They're quiet in the right places, bold in the moments that matter, and filled not with clutter, but with meaning. If today's episode lit a spark for you and you want help translating your story into a space that feels fully you, I'd love to walk that journey with you. Tap the link in the show notes to book a complimentary discovery call. Even if you're not ready to start yet, just start dreaming, start imagining, because this is your life and it deserves a home that reflects all of it. Until next time, keep dreaming big, living elevated, and remembering life's always better at altitude.